Hey crypto besties, let's talk about the best stablecoin yields on Sushiswap. Providing liquidity on decentralized exchanges is incentivized, for example on Uniswap or on QuickSwap, etc. The protocol pays you with a portion of their swap fees as well as incentivizing you by giving you some of their governance token. So for example, on Sushiswap, you can receive sushi for providing liquidity. Stablecoin liquidity may not have insane yields, but honestly, I think it's probably the best way to provide liquidity so that you reduce your downside risk. For example, you can have risks from impermanent loss or asset volatility. So by providing stablecoin yields, you don't have to worry about the asset prices changing too much and therefore losing too much due to impermanent loss. In this video, we will explore the liquidity mining incentives on Sushiswap on a myriad of blockchains. This is not financial advice, of course. This is just for education and entertainment purposes only. By the way, watch till the end because I saved the best yields for last. Lots of blockchains actually started liquidity mining programs this year to incentivize users, and because Sushiswap is multi-chain, it actually benefited from a lot of these programs. So let's see which one of these blockchains have the highest yields for providing stablecoin liquidity on Sushiswap. And if you don't know already, Sushiswap is a leading decentralized exchange. It was launched in 2020 on Ethereum, and now it lives on 14 blockchains. Alright, so the first program we're going to look at is the one on Polygon. This program launched in May. Yeah, it launched in May and they launched with 30 million of incentives. So as we can see here, this is what the stablecoin liquidity looks like right now. So you can get 23%. These are APRs, by the way. So you can get up to 23% if you provide liquidity between the pair USDC and TUSD. Now, I took these screenshots yesterday, October 24th. So one thing you should bear in mind is that this APR that you see here, it changes. So it changes daily, even by block, because it depends on how much liquidity is locked into the platform. So now I'm going to check for the yields on Polygon so you can see how it changes with time, because that was yesterday and now I'm filming today. So if I search for USDC and I look for only the stablecoin pairs, I see that USDC and USDT is now giving me 26%, whereas yesterday it gave, it gave 19%. So you see with time, it can change. It can change for the upside or the downside. So bear that in mind when you think about which chain you're going to provide liquidity in. At the end, I'll give you some tips to figure out how you can decide which chain you'd like to have liquidity in. Let's look at Harmony. Sushiswap is also on Harmony, and it launched its liquidity mining incentive, I believe around June, for $4 million. So you see right now, you can either provide for the USDC, USDT pair and get 24%, or 22% with BUSD. So let's check right now what you can get for Harmony. USDC, so 21% and 20%. So yesterday it gave 24 and 22, so you see that change. Now let's move on to xDai. xDai launched its liquidity mining incentive in July with about $2 million worth of reward. And the yields that I saw for stablecoins were up to 24% on October 24th. So if I check now on October 25th, all right, so we see it's roughly around 24% down to 12%. So roughly around the same. So I guess not much liquidity is moving in and out of xDai. So probably that's why the yields are roughly around the same. Okay, so now we're moving into the big one. So Celo blockchain has a liquidity mining program with Sushiswap, and the size of that program is $12.6 million in liquidity. So this program actually launched in October, so it's very new, very fresh, and on Sunday the yields I saw were 70% for providing USD and euros. So USD and euros, these are two different stable coins, so I reckon this pair will have a bit more impermanent loss compared to like a USD and USD pair. However, it's still a stable coin, so potentially you may not mind if you have more euros one day or more USD one day, because the differences between, or the volatility between euros and USD, it might not be as large as the volatility between Bitcoin and USD, for example. So 70% is very high. This is very exciting. I do have some of my assets on Celo, so I need to put some over. Just remember, these numbers are not a promise. They can change, especially when there's more liquidity on these platforms. But this is the highest. Let's see what the APR is today. So right now you can get 73% APR for providing stablecoin liquidity on Celo, and that is if you use the CUSD to CEUR pair. But if you choose to not do euros and USD, you can still get 68% APR. So that's pretty exciting. And this is a new program on Celo. Of course, when there's more liquidity, these numbers will go down. But let's see how things go. It started in October. You can receive 70% APR for providing CUSD and CEUR. But if you prefer to have only a USD type of pair, you still get around 68%. So that's pretty good. And of course, this number is not a promise, but this is where it's at right now. Avalanche is another chain that does have a liquidity mining incentive program with Sushiswap. However, when I went onto the platform, I wasn't able to see the farms there yet. So I don't think that they have launched just yet. So if I go to this article, for example, it does say there's a $50 million allocation. This article was published on August 24th. And yeah, the incentive period will begin shortly. So I don't know when exactly it started or if it's like a glitch on my end, but I really don't think so. But I don't see any farms here. So don't know what's happening, but I guess that would launch quite soon. So the farms on Sushiswap allow you to receive extra yield for providing liquidity. And with stablecoin liquidity, you get to shield yourself from some risks, such as impermanent loss, as well as volatility in the assets. And as we can see here on DeFi Llama, the total value locked across various blockchains are different, and that may result in having higher yields across different blockchains. For example, Polygon, as we can see, has $355 million locked. And it has some of the lowest yields for providing stablecoin liquidity, but not too low. But you still roughly get around 20%. So if you already have a lot of your assets on Polygon, you like the gas fees on Polygon, which are still relatively low, then it's not a bad idea to stay there. However, Celo only has $64 million locked, and you can see the liquidity may have impacted the APR. Of course, different blockchains have different size incentive programs as well. So all these things are in consideration. Long story short, if you'd like to figure out how long a particular yield may last, look at the total value locked on that chain. But you do have to realize the yield is also quoted based on a calculation of liquidity locked, as well as the price of the reward token. So as the price of the reward token fluctuates, the yield will also fluctuate. So it's not a definite that if it has low liquidity, the APR will be high, but you still have a higher chance of the APR staying in that range for a longer period of time. So that is it. We see that the highest APR that we can get on our stablecoin is on the Celo blockchain at the moment for around 70% APR. Of course, this is dynamic, so it can go lower or even higher. And this is really amazing. It's a great way to earn on your stablecoin. It may not be the highest and the most insane yields on the market, but it definitely is some of the safer yields. Do your own research and see what is right for you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to, wait, before I stop, don't forget to like and share and comment so that the content reaches further. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Bye.